Previously on this season of D&Dark. We open up in the spooky hamlet of Fairstead, in a run-down church whose walls hold a storied past but have seen better days. And coming from the east, there is a small, disheveled figure that is looking nervously at the moon overhead, double, triple, and quadruple checking that yes, it is only a half moon. As Larry Talbot enters into the scene. At the very back, you see some slight movement from the shadows, and Phantom of the Opera.
I'm here looking through this church to rescue hymns, beautiful pieces of music.
A skeletal figure, Imhotep, marching in step with two other skeletal figures.
4,000 years ago, I was mummified alive for blasphemies against both my king and the gods. I was reawakened and tasked with finding the scrolls of power that I was entombed with that have since been taken. And one of these scrolls, I believe, is to be here.
A set of footsteps belonging to an invisible man.
I've been hearing whispers of a hoard or a bunch of gold or something of value, and I'm here to essentially find an individual that I've heard that is going to be here on this night that essentially can grant me access or has a key in particular for me to take all my winnings.
And the source of these footsteps is a mismatched pair of very large feet belonging to an 8-foot-tall, 400-pound monster.
I got a letter saying that my father, Victor Frankenstein, was going to be here. The last time we saw each other, I thought he was dead, but apparently he's not. My mission is to make sure his creations never see the light of day, and I am to be the only one.
You see, Invisible Man, the extremely unsettling and disturbed gaze of Raynor as he slices off a small bit of skin from your neck. He takes from the Wolfman a saliva sample, pockets it, then moves on to Imhotep, and pries from within his clutches the one magical scroll that he had possession of, the Scroll of Talk.
No!
He then goes to the Frankenstein monster and takes from out of his pockets the journal of Victor Frankenstein. He lights the candles, he takes out both the Scroll of Thoth and the Scroll of Anubis, and begins to read the words aloud. From the casket, ashes begin to rise up. The words circle around the ashes, and the ashes begin to flicker with a little bit of false life. They swirl around each other and form the vague shape of a human body, which then drop down in front of the gravestone labeled Countess Milarka Karnstein, and he takes from you your blood.
Right.
You immediately recognize Professor Abraham Van Helsing.
Oh, shit.
Who has just fired off 4 arrows into Carmilla, who could not save for them, and he scattershots the magic all throughout the cemetery. And the ground beneath you violently shakes.
Oh no.
As caskets begin all at once erupting from the ground, like the ending scene of Poltergeist, like the skeletons popping out of the pool. You're a spawn. Raynor wasn't completely successful there.
Spawn? What is a spawn?
It means there's still hope. And Van Helsing takes the blade that's in his heart and drives it further in.
What are you doing?
He falls to his feet and screams in agony as ribbons and ribbons of blood-like energy shoot out of him and circle around Carmilla. They lift her up into the air, and she is filled with energy as the blood basically crawls up through her eyes. Van Helsing looks Carmilla in the eye. You have a second chance now. I have bestowed upon you a soul. Don't squander it, and you may still be able to be redeemed. And he collapses. Van Helsing is dead. Werner Vordenberg has arrived and has identified the source of our affliction. It is the wanderer who sought refuge within our walls, who was actually a long-dead countess and made some unholy barter and has been traveling across the countryside causing numerous scenes such as this one. The woman who introduced herself as Carmilla must be destroyed, and as such, I, and a select few of the bravest of our priests and nuns, have begun preparing to invoke the forbidden rites of Hemocraft. We must all have our souls branded with the Hunter's Bane. It is the least of the debt that we owe to Saint Maria van Helsing.
Damn.
I swear on her grave that I personally shall end Carmilla's legacy, and should a Karnstein ever walk this earth again, I will seek out vengeance with all the power of the Church and the Sacred Order of the Slayers behind me.
Damn.
I swore an oath on the grave of Maria van Helsing that as long as a Karnstein walked this earth, so too would I. You've made a dangerous enemy, and no matter where you go, no matter what plane of existence Karnstein finds herself in, I will follow. And as long as you are allied with her, none of you are safe.
And the soul takes off and vanishes.
Well, I've always wanted a mortal enemy, so...
There was some information about a vampire nest that was located in the town of Stratford, and there was a specific name that was circled, and that name is Marlowe Bronte.
Would I know where to go for Stratford?
You would generally know it is to the southwest of here. As Carmilla makes her leave, what kind of goes through your mind?
Carmilla steels herself as she looks towards the east, thinking about the great journey that she is going to have to start going on.
Frankenstein, I think it was.
Mary.
Mary.
Frankenstein's my father's name. Well, the last name anyway, but I decided to call myself Mary after a certain someone.
And then you pull into the town of Stratford. What you immediately notice that kind of puts you off a little bit, 2 or 3 what appear to be vampires.
In the day? Like midday?
Midday. We don't take kindly to the supernatural here. You gotta honor certain rules and agreements if you're gonna set foot in Stratford. Our normal people here just want to live normal, comfortable lives. So, any of you high and mighty dangers and threats to our normality have to pay your tithes by order of our town sovereign. You do not want to mess with Gonzo.
Qua?
Gonzo!
Please, you seem to have some means. I am in desperate need of some blood. I am so weak. I can feel my life force leaving. Can any of you please spare an ounce or a pint would be preferable of blood and send it my way?
Blood!
Ew, gross.
I'm like,
I back up.
Nose goes, I did it last time.
It looks pleased for a moment before a look of horror sweeps across its face as it realizes it has just ingested dead man's blood.
Told you.
And he rolled a 61, so for the next minute, he can exclusively shout when speaking.
My name is Count Orlok. I used to be somewhat of a big deal around these parts, but I've since fallen out of fortune and favor, and no one really remembers me anymore. But I am glad to have new acquaintances in town. Here, I will take you to our nest, where you can be assured of your safety and your comfort.
I wanted to ask the old vampire if he knew Carmilla.
Why, yes, I have not heard that name in quite a long time. She was the most prosperous of my spawn.
Really? Interesting.
Welcome to Nest.
Ooh, fancy.
As you walk in, the first thing that you see, above you and to the back, there are some supernaturally glowing runes that spell out the Nest. And they glow with an ethereal neon green. As you look around, the walls around you are upholstered with like red satin. You see a whole bunch of tables and chairs in a room that stretches way far back. You feel
Is this like a
You
nightclub?
feel the pulsating of music.
Oh my god.
It is a nightclub.
It's a goddamn vampire nightclub.
Awesome.
And you hear from up in the back corner the vampire identified as Marlowe say, "Oh, Antichrist, I'm bored.
Oh my god.
Can't you put on some real entertainment? Who do I have to unkill around here to liven up this performance a little bit? I didn't say stop.
We're looking for Rainer.
If you're willing to exchange a favor for me, I can give you that information.
Done.
I'm in.
I've been attempting to gain access to a certain residence that my invitation has been revoked from. There is a mansion belonging to one Lord Maledict Stonecroft. If you can get inside those doors and invite me in, I can take care of the rest.
I just want to see like if there's anything more to this mirror than what we can see.
You first start to see the reflection of your clothes come into focus, and then they fade away. And as you are looking in this mirror, you see kind of taking their place, piece by piece, a floating uniform of a police constable.
Jack, what are you doing? What did you see?
As you reach out and push him aside, asking what he sees, you look into the mirror. A hound looks up at you with a snarl and a rabid foam coming out of its mouth and intense hatred in its eyes. This is a bad dog. Phantom, when you approach it, you see the malformed half of your face fix itself, and you look complete. You see a female creature dressed in a bridal gown, and you see Victor Frankenstein putting the finishing touches on and admiring his successful creation. You see the mirror Imhotep with a bag of sand hanging around its neck. You see this version of Imhotep leading the charge and saying a prayer to Set, the god of chaos, and pulls from his cloak the scroll of Set.
He is, I assume, the polar opposite of me. He's chaotic good.
Yep. A hand shoots out at you, grabs onto you, and says, "Let me get that for you."
Oh, shit.
Oh, crap.
As Maledict Stonecroft materializes in this room. Now, what else of my things can I get for you?
Can you please get us a Marlo Bronte? I invite you in!
Oh, I should have known. Of course it'd be you, Marlowe. I'm surprised you didn't expect me sooner. It's my own fucking house. You lost the right to call it that when you cheated on me with Akasha. By the way, all of you are free to go. We're probably going to be talking things out for quite a while. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Amelia de Gonzola, and this is my town. So I expect you while you are here to follow my rules. And there will be no more misunderstandings. Rest assured, I will allow safe passage as long as you continue not to cause any trouble. Do we have an understanding?
We have an understanding.
Yes, Miss Gorgonzola.
Please, if this will be a problem for you, Gonzo will suffice.
Oh.
What information can you share about Rainer?
See, Rainer's a tricky one. He kind of showed up out of nowhere. He is a man of wealth and means, and it doesn't seem to be acquired legitimately. He doesn't know what to do with any of it, and he commands a startling amount of power for a vampire spawn. See, he's not even a full vampire. He is a vampiric spawn, and the fact that he has the amount of attention and the amount of power that he does is concerning. He and his cult made a recent attack at the Louvre over in Paris. They were having some brand new exhibit for some ancient long-buried pharaoh. I believe it was, Akhenaten. Their primary centerpiece was, I believe, a scroll in worship to Osiris. They weren't successful. There was some heavy damage that was done to the entire exhibit, and for its own protection, it will be moved to the British Royal Museum.
Do you know if there are any means or any people who would know about curse removal on the grander scheme of curses?
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but anything that would be strong enough to relieve you of your curse would have to be an affront to the nature of reality itself. It would take absurdly powerful magic.
You're saying there's a chance?
All right, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but there's a coven of witches in the swamps of South Downs. I would absolutely not recommend you pursue them. But if anyone has anything powerful enough to do what needs doing, it would be them. Ooh. With a 21, you cast your identifying magic, and Gonzo looks directly in your eyes. Her eyes flare up with righteous fury. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shoot. Guys, I think we found our man, woman, revenant.
I do apologize for this. I didn't mean for you to get mixed up in this along with the others. But I swore an oath on the grave of Maria Van Helsing.
Ah, crap.
Phantom starts chanting for a tiny hut right now immediately.
Tiny hut, tiny hut,
And
tiny hut.
I learned my lesson from last time, so I did not come alone.
Oh no.
Off to the east side, you see, kind of clamoring in with the storm clouds, the Bride of Frankenstein.
What?
An invisible constable.
Oh, shoot.
I was wondering about that.
A costumed theatrician. A mummy bearing the scroll of Set. And a bad dog.
Oh, shit.
Ah, shit.
I'm going to kind of reach down into the pile of his bones and relieve him of the scroll and say, I do not believe you know how to properly use this, so I will relieve you of it, and kind of put it into my bag.
As you take that scroll and bring it back into your possession, you hear the voices of your gods reaching out to you and reminding you that the power of the scroll can be yours if you destroy a member of your own cloth. And as the robe blows away into sand, the bag opens up and the sand lifts up out of that, giving that same sort of ethereal glow as your runes, begins to circle around you and imbues you with their magic and their essence. You feel yourself lift up off the ground as you start to become more corporeal. You shift slightly more across the veil towards the living. Your skeletons begin to generate some ligaments and musculature that are linking them together.
Ooh, I'm gonna get grosser as we go along with this.
And the runes creep their way up onto the wrappings. The small tattered remains get longer, stronger, and more corporeal, more solid. And when combat is over, you will change your race from Namru to Mummy. His hands shoot out and grab you, and he looks up with a righteous fire and indignation behind his eyes. And as he starts to cast his vengeful glare, Gonzo pulls you out of his grasp, shoves you aside, and buries a stake through his heart.
Oh, yeah. That's hot.
And then he disintegrates, and the soul of Vordenberg lingers.
Go away.
Doesn't bother to say anything, and flies away. Carmilla, will you stay behind in Stratford?
It would be my most intense pleasure.
Oh, damn.
Lawrence, you know the full moon is tomorrow. There is no time to rest.
And you flip over to the next one.
That's it, Lawrence. If you do not pick up, I will be coming to get you myself.
Oh, no.
And if you look over the horizon, you see off in the distance a very small, elderly fortune teller woman riding a carriage that is coming up over the hillside towards you.
Oh, no. Guys, we need to say our goodbyes and get out of here quickly.
I come bearing gifts for you, Mother Carrionite. I bring souls of the clergy.
Oh, yes, this will do quite nicely.
For you, Sister Sycorax, I bring the finest quality grains of sand.
Oh, why, this is fine. This shall do perfectly. This is of the highest quality. I am ecstatic.
And for you, Granny Grimhilda, I bring a vial of saliva of the wolf.
Do I hear that?
Oh, well.
Do I hear that?
Yes, you do.
Do we all hear that?
You all hear this.
All of you are welcome to a word or two.
But you will have to come to us
Separately.
And the three witches scatter.
I can help your friend with his affliction. We simply need to imprison his other half within the realm of dreams, from whence I have control, and where it shall not. One of my other sisters, my granny Groomhilda, she is a hoarder of particular items, and one I have my eyes fixated upon is a pocket watch that can steal fragments of time. If you can bring me that pocket watch, I can assist your friend.
what I can do for your friend. If I can borrow his soul, I can filter out everything undesirable and separate the wolf and the man.
Oh my god.
The power of this talisman,
as she indicates to the lotus flower behind her.
it can undo the thing that happened to you.
Undo?
Yes, it is strikingly powerful. If you can get at something of great importance to Mother Carrionite. She does, after all, keep a tight thumb on this coven, and I seek to simply unsettle her power a little bit. So if you can steal a lantern from her cottage and bring it to me, then I will hand you this lotus.
And the clouds part as the light of the full moon shines down on Larry Talbot.
Oh, shit.
You can feel the bones within his body start to crack and shape and twist as he convulses, and something is pulling itself up out of Larry. The muscles and tendons start to rip and pull, and he's letting out just squeaks and sounds of pain. And as his chest is starting to barrel out and he becomes more top heavy, he collapses onto the floor and bellows out to the moon. And he looks at you, Mary, and he makes direct eye contact with these bright yellowing spiral eyes.
This particular lantern contains a very powerful blood hunter.
Knew it. I freaking knew it.
I'm going to move the lantern closer to my face and try and look inside.
You crack open the lantern a little bit, and you see through the ethereal glow of the soul, this belongs to Baron Werner Vordenberg.
Shit.
I have heard word of something called a soul cage and its, shall we say, uses.
They take some fairly immense power to make and sustain, or if you've got yourself a Reaper scythe, then that shortcuts the process a little bit.
You watch the wolf just slam into Sycorax and just claw and scratch her to pieces, absolutely shredding her. And then he's gonna clamp down on her head, and you hear kind of in the air through the abyssal speech stack of,
You had so much fun trying to consume me. Now it's my turn.
and he's gonna just rip off her head and start just chowing down until it's nothing more than just scraps on the ground. And then he's gonna kind of take a little look around.
The only way you are leaving this swamp alive is if you return to me the lantern with the soul of the Baron Werner Vordenberg.
The what?
Don't worry about it. Let's go. Let's get out of here. We are fine. No, we're fine. Everything is fine. We're fine.
You have the Revenant in a jar?
No.
What exactly happened?
I was the high priest of the god Osiris. And when the king, the heretic, took power. He insisted that the old ways needed to be done away with and brought about a new cult, that of worshipping the sun, Aten. Aken Aten. I was called to Memphis and ran his sun cult by day. By night, I continued to follow my old ways. Until one night, I was found out. And the king had me interred, blaspheming against Osiris and the other gods, taking these scrolls that I had used to weave my magics and throwing them into my coffin with me and burying me prematurely.
But you said you weren't alone in all of this, that many other people were doing the same?
I had my wife. She was loyal to me and to the gods, but was sadly taken from me too soon by them. I believe that with each scroll I find, a new task will be given to me. And once I'm able to complete these tasks, I will find my peace.
Your runes begin to glow, and you can feel the room begin to shake again. And you hear the voice reminding itself one more time in your head that the power of the scroll will be yours if you destroy the heart of the Mummy Lord. As you force your way forward to the front and start to approach the scroll, with your nat 20, you start to replay the events of the museum through your head as you walk in. And you remember everything the museum has gotten wrong so far. It is a concerning amount of inaccuracies. You saw what should have been Coptic was in Mesopotamian. You saw what should have been a mix of Cretaceous and Jurassic was labeled as Triassic. You saw that the Mayan stone pedestal was an Incan. And you begin to think to yourself, if it got all of that wrong, what else did they get wrong?
This isn't my king.
A voice echoing through the room that is eerily familiar.
Imhotep?
Ooh, Dan.
You promised me eternal life.
Oh, no.
Now join me in eternal death.
And as you use your dispel magic to undo the enchantment over these scrolls, their facade vanishes, and you see them as they really are, as pages from the Necronomicon.
No! I will take these scrolls, and I will ensure nobody uses them. I may not be a priest to a god that I knew, but I know damn well that I will serve Osiris, and I will make sure that these do not fall into the wrong hands. My love, I do not want to say goodbye again, but it will not be a goodbye, it will be a see you later.
See you later.
Change Imhotep's alignment from lawful evil to lawful neutral.
Larry, look at this. I found it on the cultist over there that I beheaded. Does that look like anything to you?
Actually, I do know what that is for. That is for a sanitarium. I've never been there before, but I did have a consultation with one of their psychologists.
You know how you asked us to look for Victor Frankenstein? We actually found where he is.
We need to go, and we need to go now.
The process is nearly complete. It is simply missing a heart.
And you see another shadowy silhouette approaching and hear the familiar shaky voice of Raynor.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, excellent.
In the dead center of the room, on an elevated platform, you see on an operating table a body that is very oversized, that is splayed out and mostly sewn back together, with Igor's heart sitting now in its chest and the dead body of Igor sprawled out in front of it.
I look over at Raynor and I just bellow, "Where is he?"
He is where we put the uncooperative ones. And if you know what's good for you, you will get him to cooperate yourself.
And you find yourselves in a prison cell. It is a very small, shabby cell with not a lot of room to move around. There is enough room for the 5 of you and for the 6th occupant, who is off to the side, chained up against the bed, there are equations on the wall behind him that are scratched into the stone with extreme force and brutality. And you see a thin man in a lab coat that is scorched by frost, missing an arm with little bits of frozen over necrosis, and in its place, a makeshift mechanical arm that glows out supernaturally is scratching into the wall the last bits of an equation. He makes some small adjustments to it. It changes color as it lights up. He passes his arm down to all of you, illuminating his face and illuminating all of you. And Mary, you recognize this as Victor Frankenstein.
Ah, Mary, my greatest achievement and greatest failure. The last we spoke, you asked me why I created you, and I gave you no answer. And I don't think there is one. You are merely a product of my ego, ambition, and ignorance. Giving yourself a name and pretending at a purpose will never change what you are.
And Victor Frankenstein, as he says that, doubles over in intense pain and clutches at his head as a sharp spike of psionic energy pierces through him. He, with a scream of pain and terror, is grabbing at his head, and his skull cracks open.
What? Whoa, what?
He is desperately clutching at his throat and at his head as he is, in his screams of pain, beginning to choke. And he is beginning to retch. And he coughs up his entire tub, which spits out, rolls down in front of him, and as he is writhing in pain, it begins to lift up and wrap around him, congealing his now exposed brain, surrounding it, and splitting at the tip into a series of dangling tentacle-like appendages that then solidify around his head, that becomes softer, more bulbous, more exposed as his brain expands. And with an eldritch, Cthulhu, Davy Jones type appearance, having now been taken on, he levitates up off of the ground and sends out a pulse of his own psychic energy. As he falls to the ground, clutching at his head with his jaw gone, his skull open and missing, his head now just a soft, tendrily mass of tentacles, his mind flayed.
He's a motherfucking mind flayer!
And as you look down at the open nozzle, you see an eyeball peeking back up at you.
Shit.
That pops out, attached to a thin stalk. And you see another eyeball. And another eyeball. And another eyeball. That all begin to, one at a time, pop their way out of this flask. And a plume of smoke billows out from the flask as this round, floating, one-eyed entity lifts up out of the flask. And there is an explosion of magical energy as the smoke filters out through all corners of the room. And you see a pink eyeball with jagged teeth underneath it, and like Medusa hair appendages, other eyeballs snaking out from its person. And a crown sits atop its head, emblazoned with dark indigo energy. As it stretches out its eye stalks and announces its presence.
Is there anything else?
There is one thing. Ben.
Yeah?
Change your alignment from lawful neutral to lawful good.
Oh,
Ew, gross.
Lawful good.
Join the good team.
This does source itself from the remains of the Seward Sanitarium in central London.
It seems that there are multiple places layered on one another in the same place, or something like that. And our attention is being specifically and intentionally diverted away.
Well, if he is hopping between different planes of existence, that would explain why he's been so difficult to track.
So, what should we do?
Why, the Seward Sanitarium actually sounds perfect, as a place to hop to a different layer of reality. You might want to rendezvous with Carmilla. She's going to be in the area. She actually just left from Stratford, heading towards central London. And you cast Dispel Magic on this nameplate, and not the nameplate, but the name itself. The letters begin to unscramble themselves, and the name that you've been seeing and experiencing as Rainer Leroux begins to jitter and shift as the name replaces itself from Rainer Leroux to Richard Milo Renfield.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Oh my freaking god. Okay, yes.
That explains a lot.
Yes!
Wow.
You do also notice that there is the beginnings of another body on a gurney in the middle of this lab that bear a striking resemblance to the female creature that was your doppelganger.
Old habits die hard, I guess.
Mary, if you're trying to speak to me, I cannot hear you. This work requires the entirety of my conscious mind, so you'll have to make do with my psychic projection. As you can see, we've been hard at work with the cooperation of the Igors. They've been seeking a way to harness and amplify the psychic energy inherent to my new form. With the help of their efforts, I have pierced the veil between this world and the abyss in search of information. We picked up a recurring pattern of psychic energy when we aim for in a specific direction, not unlike a radio wave. We're in the process of decrypting the signal now. In fact, it should be done any minute. In what little downtime I've had from this project, I've been working on something on the side. Something for you, actually. I know too well now the burden of being the only one of my kind, at least on this plane. For this reason, I've been piecing together a new creature. A bride for you, if you will. Someone to be a companion of yours. I cannot promise you a definite timeline of when she will be done, especially with the more sensitive operations in this lab taking much of my time, but I will contact you when she is ready. Oh, and speaking of which, it's finished now. The signal is translated. Here, let us share in this moment of discovery. The signal reads, Rainer, the Prince of Death, the Prince of Undeath, Rainer, the Prince of Death, the Prince of Undeath, Rainer, the Prince of Death, the Prince of Undeath. And then it cuts out.
Have you come to return our sister to us?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then have you come to seek my help?
I don't think I want anything to do with any of your dealings. It didn't work out so well for me the last time.
Who's to say it won't work out better this time?
And with her ethereal, bony, fleshy, human hand reaching out towards you, she conjures up...
Stay back, Carrionite. You obviously know you're not the only one that can trap souls. As you said yourself, I have your sister trapped. And though I can't trap you the way I did her at this moment, I do have my own way. And I bring out my tarot deck. I can have your soul trapped in my cards. Even if I don't kill you here and now, if I'm able to get a hit out on you, I will have your soul when you die. So I'd say, be very careful for what you try next, okay?
And here my sister thought you had an accurate read of your own abilities. You grossly overestimate what you're capable of.
Consider it a peace offering.
He pulls a vial out of his jacket, uncorks it, splashes a tiny bit of it on your arm, and you can see your skin begin to momentarily reform.
I have an offer from my master. We are planning on revolutionizing this countryside. He will bring order to a decaying world and bring about a new empire. And in this empire, we will have scientific curiosities untold. And we need some of the greatest minds of our generation if we really are to reach the peaks that we hope to ascend to. You will get all of the praise, all of the glory that has been denied you for so long, and all you have to do is lend your mind to us.
Everything that you offer me, it is what I want. But, as I said, I need to know who it is that I get into bed with. But first tell me what happens with them.
It is better not to be in the path of his mighty footsteps. If they scatter out of the way like the insects they are, then they can survive. And if they find a way to adapt, prove themselves useful, join our glorious vision, then not only can they survive, but they can thrive. Anyone has the choice to be the victim or the oppressor, and you can make sure that she is not oppressed if you yourself are not a victim. Think about everything that you and your compatriots have been through. We all have been tossed to the sides of society. We all have been under the heel of the living, of the incompetent masses for so long. I'm no different than you. I, too, am an outcast. A misfit, you might say. The only difference is that I have a purpose, and I have a seat at the table when justice is finally served.
How is it that you've amassed all this power, and yet you're still underneath him?
I want you to think very, very hard about what you've just said.
You have no loyalty to anybody that you work with. As much as I want everything that you're offering me, it is not worth my soul, and I know Flora would not allow it either. She would despise me after all this. I might be signing my own death warrant, but you and your master, I'll do what I can to hinder you at any moment I can.
Very well. That is your decision. You hear a pulsating and an energy that sounds a little familiar.
Ooh.
The energy that is emanating from here is a little reminiscent of Carrionite's lanterns.
Oh, okay.
And there is, Larry, what you can identify, an amulet that is letting off that energy that is coming from a pocket marked R.M. Renfield.
I grab it.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Yeah.
At the point of the pentagram is Raynor, and filling out the rest of it, there is one other vampire spawn, Ozim and Ur.
What?
Oh.
And who?
My Skelly?
Your Skelly boys!
Wow, they made it all the way to the boss level.
Wow, they're like main characters now.
And you hear the last words to an incantation being spoken. The shadows leak up from the floor and wrap around a vampiric body as a moderately sized vampire, a little shorter than you expected,
Shorter?
appears.
He's a short king.
Hovering above this pentagram, and there is a slight shimmer over his plate mail as he says, "I am Count Vladimir Tepesh, the Prince of Wallachia, though you might know me better as Count Dracula, the Prince of Death. Countess Karnstein, it's good to see you again after all this time. I need to thank you. I want to show my gratitude and admiration, for after all, I am your legacy. Everything that I am, I owe to you. And I want you to know that acknowledgement, that praise, that gratitude, and that remembrance exists, because this is the last time that you will ever feel it. Because now that I exist, no one will ever remember you again."
Oh.
Damn.
And you can feel all around you the countrywide perception filter disappearing, as collectively the memory of Dracula takes over the countryside. And Carmilla, you feel an innate sense that your story, your legacy, and your reputation, you can feel as Dracula's shadow is growing larger, that you are being encompassed by it.
It's like the books.
And that all of the fear and reverence that people had for you is now fear and reverence for him. And as Dracula ingests the dead man's blood of the vampire that turned him, he throws himself to the ground in momentary agony. Those shadows seeping out from under him wrap around and lift him up. And from beneath his cape, a pair of leathery wings explodes outwards. And the ash and dust and grime gathered on his plate mail burns away to reveal the insignia of the Empire of Dracul, the Empire of the Dragon.
It is important that we do not let them leave. We may still have a chance, but the fact that you are already a full vampire spoils things ever so slightly, for the final ingredient that we have not yet collected is we need the soul of a blood hunter. And if you're unable to hold a soul, then your immortality is at stake.
Carmilla starts giggling.
What do you find so amusing, Countess?
I have more of a soul than you do.
Oh no.
That is the wrong thing to say.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
And here I thought I was too hasty. Master, it appears we still have an opportunity. See, when the Countess Karnstein was resurrected, the blood hunters came to her defense and they swarmed like flies. So I simply couldn't resist. But if what she says is true, then the soul of your nemesis, Abraham Van Helsing, lies within her. And if any soul could withstand the incineration that it experiences in a body such as yours, it would be his.
Oh my god.
That was a fantastic story.
That was a pretty fantastic story. Unfortunately, it was also your third failed death save.
No! Oh my god.
Farewell, y'all.
Wait, no!
Phantom, do you have any last words?
Wait, can my candle can't do anything, right?
Because he's evil. It's an evil boy.
I've got.
You have the Necronomicon.
Well, I have a spell called Life Transference. I will take 4d8 damage, but he will gain twice what I rolled. Imhotep has gone through his arc. I have the Necronomicon.
I will allow this. I will say, if you succeed on this, you are taking his place.
Imhotep is going to... He's exhausted. He's not doing good. He kind of drags himself over to Phantom and places his hand on Phantom's good side. I have lived. I have seen the world of the past. I have seen the world of today. He grabs the Necronomicon, the thing that he is now insanely attached to. He slides the book towards the Phantom. And as I basically force the Necronomicon onto the body of the Phantom, I cast Life Transference.
All right, go ahead and start rolling.
So you're going to recover 28 HP.
Oh, Jack, you son of a bitch! Where are we?
And Imhotep, your runes begin to fade and flicker out. Do you have any last words?
As the runes are flickering, he again kind of pushes the book towards the Phantom. You have more to do. I only ask that you keep this protected. You have seen what it can do. Do not let my sacrifice be in vain. With one last cast of thaumaturgy, his eyes, the usual shade of blue that his eyes are, it turns a slightly brighter shade of blue. Something that in his mind is more calming to see before the lights go out.
Don't joke like that, Dusty. Come on. You know I don't know what to do with this. Dusty. Jack, Mary, what's wrong with him? Anyone know how to turn the magic back on? It's the beholder around here.
There was a light, and it's different than what he's done before.
Well, yeah, fine. We'll do something different. It's fine.
Mary doesn't say anything. He just gets up, grabs Imhotep's bag, gathers up all the bones, puts them in the bag. We need to get out of here now. We'll bring them back somehow. I don't know how, I don't know when, but we'll find a goddamn way. But right now, we need to get out of here now.
The lantern bounces down the stairs and rolls up to Raynor's feet.
Oh, oh no!
Raynor's going to have to make a dexterity saving throw. That's a nat 1.
You ate it, man.
Oh, I don't know what's happening.
Following from behind,
baby, get that leg.
The javelin of lightning will strike Raynor. And because it was a nat 1, it's gonna crit. I swore an oath on the soul of Abraham Van Helsing.
Oh my God.
That Karnstein be allowed to right her wrongs and finish her legacy.
Oh my God.
Leave her out of this and I will go with you willingly.
Mordenberg.
There he floats above us, taunting us, and putting himself high above the two of us, drawing into himself, using, stealing, and perverting the power of my Necronomicon.
Ooh.
Sorry, Kilmarnock's Necronomicon?
I think it is only fitting that we work for our freedom, Kilmarnock. He elevates himself above us, so I shall elevate us to his level, and we shall dethrone the false king.
It's gonna go so bad, but the werewolf is for it.
Do it! What I will say, you have flown out into the front courtyard of the castle. You hear a couple sounds of the skirmish right behind you inside, but you also hear a bellowing coming from the rooftop. And as you look up, you see the clouds beginning to swirl around as blood drips from the sky, highlighting with his extended wings spread above the torn open roof of the throne room. Dracula with the werewolf in one hand and Kilmarnock in the other. And his wings flutter outward and a shockwave ripples out. And the few passerbys that are around in the night all look up and see him hanging above this castle. And he announces, "People of the English countryside, your nation is under attack from monstrosities such as these. What you need is a savior to right the wrongs of your land and to protect you from incursions like this. The British Empire is one that can achieve the ideal set forth for a land that is so great that the sun never sets. I offer a counter-proposal. A land in which the moon shines eternal over streets devoid of danger. One where you can roam the streets in the dark of the night without fear of creatures like these taking your freedom from you." And he drops both the werewolf and Kilmarnock down into the throne room, spreads his wings and spreads his arms, and begins to float down to the street as more and more people are running out to gather at the spectacle and are in awe of him as he descends down above them.
And then I'm going to pull Abraham's dagger, and I'm going to go for my 2 attacks.
Okay. And you know what? Because you just rolled 2 nat 20s, I'll say this can count as a sneak attack.
Okay. If I could roll another 20, I would love it.
You have a DM inspiration.
That's true. Thank you. I'm going to burn a DM inspiration.
Gosh.
And the DM inspiration.
Oh, yes, it's a 20! I rolled for the Blood Hunter ritual, and that was a 19. So the soul does leave the lantern and forcefully slam into Dracula. And as he begins to float down, and as this soul flies into him, he begins to glow with spectral energy as the red in his eyes is shortly overtaken by an ethereal blue before switching back to red, and his presence feels slightly more tangible. As he cements himself down, he feels more whole and more real than the reality around him.
Oh, he's walking 2 worlds.
And Jack, what is your damage?
Without adding the crit damage, it is 26.
Describe your killing blow.
Oh my god!
Yes! Do this shit!
As the rapier goes straight into Raynor, I'm going to take Abraham's dagger, jam it into his heart, and tell him, "You remember what I told you before. I would do anything in my power to stop you." And just rip it out as violently as I can to see whatever blood sprays anywhere.
His expression wavers for a moment. He looks beyond you and sees Dracula, and the smile intensifies. And as he is spitting up blood, the last thing you hear from him is his cackle. Before he collapses and dissolves into ashes. That laugh lingers, and his presence feels weaker but not entirely gone. But for the moment, Raynor Leroux is dead.
Bravo!
Because as the lights on his ruins flickered and faded away, and those bones are now just bones, and those wrappings have lost any of the incantations that have given him life, he feels his world dim. And as he starts to embrace the oncoming darkness and welcome himself to cross into the Duat, he instead...
Dan, I don't like this. I don't like this. No.
feels a heat billow up from beneath him.
Yeah.
And his consciousness starts to regain with a gasp of air that fills up with molten hot air. Imhotep appears on a bridge made out of chains and surrounded by a billowing fire that lifts up all around him. And before him is an almighty throne with an enormous, dark, shadowy figure sitting atop it. 2 sets of horns spiraling out of the head, a hand gripped on a flaming whip of chains, the other hand tapping its fingers on the armrest of the infernal throne. And this voice says,
"You are not who I had expected, but allow me to say anyway on your behalf as you are filling in for my real target. Hello and welcome to hell."
And the Devil Lord Asmodeus opens his arms, and you look around and feel the shrieking of souls all around you.